guaranteeing a spot in the college football playoff. Texas still crossing their fingers, but Oklahoma, they are in. We are joined by Brian Brinkley out of Oklahoma City. Brian, what'd you make of the Oklahoma matchup against the LSU? Looked dicey at the beginning. A couple of big interceptions there for John Mateer, but they were able to slam the door shut and open up their chances to solidify a spot there in the top 12.
Yeah, I was joking to someone at whatever point you want to say, mid-third quarter or something, Oklahoma was like the Dr. Pepper commercial. They were looking for a side team, and Bushy Bill walked through the door. But they saved the day. They made two huge offensive plays, and then the defense was phenomenal again. And at this point, it's the old Jim Valvano saying, survive in advance. That's all you have to do. That's what they've been doing for the last 4 weeks, and they got it done. I mean, the defense was fantastic. I was impressed with LSU's defense. OU's offense really struggled, but they made just enough, barely just enough plays to win the game. And at this point in the season, that's all that counts.
Going into that game, Michael Van Buren, the LSU quarterback, taking over for Garrett Nussmeier. This offense, the LSU offense, has just hadn't been great, just to be honest with you, all season long. It never really found its footing. But once again, the Oklahoma defense came up big. What did you make of that unit? And not just on Saturday, but what this could mean for a run at the national championship and the way that they'll need to play moving forward?
Well, I mean, it's the old saying, defense wins championships. We're going to find out. I don't know if Oklahoma's got enough offense to do that, but the defense has carried them a long ways this year. And as the season keeps going on, I think these guys' confidence is just growing and growing. I looked up a stat. This is the first time since 1984 that OU's won 4 conference games by scoring fewer than 25 points in those 4 games.
Wow.
That's only happened four seasons since World War II. And you're going back to 84, which is a really good Oklahoma defense back then, too. So OU has definitely done it with defense. And these guys they just believe that they can stop anybody at any time. And, they're able to – one of the things as they've grown with this defense the last few years is that they had a tendency to give up some big plays, and that now they're starting to eliminate that. Mm-hmm. And you're making teams drive 80 yards and 14 plays or something. That's not going to happen too often against OU's defense. And I think they are ready to take on all comers with whoever's next in the playoff.
I kind of am making a correlation here to Iowa teams of a few years ago with just an elite defense and an offense that really makes you scratch your head and think, man, how is this team, competing for a spot in the college football playoff? But outside of the 2 touchdowns there, it was a rough going for John Mateer yet again. And I feel like we've been speculating all year about, maybe the hand isn't so great. It seems like the spot in the playoff is locked up right now. What would be a successful, run in this playoff here? Would it be winning a game? Would it be obviously trying to make the national championship? But what is a realistic projection for this team building into next year?
Not knowing the bracket yet, but, having some general idea. I think if you win one game, that would be tremendous. Mm-hmm. I mean, you're going to have to play somebody. I mean, whatever OU seed is, it's going to be something where they're playing like the 1 or the 2 seed in the next round. Yeah. So, that's going to be tough. So I think if you win one game realistically, now Oklahoma fans, you get to this point, it's national champ or bust. But I think realistically, if they can win one game, in my book, they've already accomplished I think far beyond what people thought was going to happen. But I think you win one game, especially if it's at home. If they have to go on the road, if something happens crazy, and maybe it's not even crazy, but if something happens this weekend to bump them down to a 9 seed or below and they have to go on the road, that's going to be really tough. But if they're at home, you win one game there, I don't know how much you can complain about after being 6-7 last year.
Yeah, I think you're rooting for Georgia here this weekend, because if Alabama were to win the SEC, I think they leapfrog them even with the win.
Oh, yeah,
You could definitely make that argument.
No question about it. And for this offense, we've talked about John Mateer, going into this season, even going into these last few games. Talk a little bit about his leadership. I mean, from a yards perspective, he had the yards, over 300 yards in the game. I know they didn't score as many points, but What do you make of John Mateer as a leader for this offense? As you mentioned, not scoring a lot, but doing exactly what they need to do to be able to win these games to punch their ticket.
Yeah, he's a big time leader. I think I said earlier this year he's the best leader that they've had at quarterback probably since Jalen Hurts 1 year in Norman.
Yeah,
and he said after the game, had some interesting things to say after the game Saturday about how he just his whole life his mood is determined by how he's playing as a football player, and when things go bad, he tends to beat himself up over it. And man, he had a lot to beat himself up over on Saturday against LSU with 3 interceptions, and yet he's able to hang in there. And he talked about how much he's grown. He said this wouldn't have happened 2 or 3 years ago, and I think he's grown a lot this year. And everything we've heard all season long from his teammates, they have the utmost respect for him as a leader, and that's just another notch in the belt with the way he was able to respond in the clutch when the season was on the line.
Absolutely. Got a chance to hear from head coach Brent Venables on his QB1.
I'm not surprised. He threw for over 300 yards, and ran the ball. A lot of it didn't look like a whole lot, but he took shot after shot, blow after blow, and he kept responding. And thankful that he's got the right kind of toughness and the resolve and the resiliency to believe there at the end, and he's done that in several of the games. You guys got all the stats and the storylines of several other games against really good people in the fourth quarter where he put a drive together. We made some plays, when we needed to, that were the difference in the game, and he did it again, here tonight. And we really took the whole game to compliment, one another, but we finally did.
There's Brent Venables on his quarterback. Got your thoughts as well. We want to get your thoughts about something else, more umbrella, big picture. Just what did you make of yesterday and the craziness there in and around the SEC? 5 new coaches, some coming from a group of 5, and then Ole Miss, LSU, Auburn, all getting new guys. Just what did you make of yesterday's craziness?
What that you just said, it's craziness. I mean, what are we going through here in college football these days? And all the introductory news conferences today, the American Championship game going to have 2 coaches who are headed to a different school,
yes,
but they're going to coach in the American Championship game, and then I think they're both going to stay with the team if they go to the playoff all the way through. So that's fascinating in and of itself. I mean, it's a dog-eat-dog world, and the SEC has become so competitive, and the fact that there's 6 schools that are changing coaches this year is just incredible. And I mean, going into the season, we talked about, what does Brent Venables have to do to keep his job?
Right.
Obviously he's done that with a 10-win season, but it's, I think you guys have followed the SEC longer than we have, just second year Oklahoma's have been in the league, but I think top to bottom, this is maybe the best the SEC's ever been. I mean, Arkansas was in almost every game they played in and didn't win in the league. I mean, this is a brutal league, and it's unfortunate that it's at this level. But I mean, all of these coaches go in, they know what the game is, and they know if you don't win, you're going to be gone. And some of these hires might be really good ones, and some may turn out to be not so good. We won't really know for a while, but it's insane. I mean, and the way it's going, I mean, I think I would bet that 2 or 3 more guys are going to get fired next year.
Yes, yes.
I think you can almost guarantee that that's going to happen.
Yep.
I think part of the thing is, I think the 12-team playoff has made schools think that, a bunch of teams are going now. We need to be one of those. But 12 is still a really small number.
Still slim. Yes.
Especially when you factor in a group of 5 champions got to be in.
Right.
And we may have this year, the ACC may not even get a team in.
Yes, exactly.
To the whole playoff.
Right.
So you really have to, as Heather Dinich said the other day, you're going to have to finish in the top 10 probably if you don't win your conference to get in this year.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I just think, this isn't a 64-team or 68-team basketball tournament.
Correct.
You have to still be really good. And I think it's a shame. I mean, I don't know. I'm not saying they should be in, but a 10-2 Vanderbilt team, what else do you want them to do?
That's
they're probably going to get left out.
That's exactly right. We actually talked to Corey Curtis about that over there in Nashville just moments ago. Before we let you go, we want to talk some hoops a little bit. Oklahoma